Hey everyone, it's your family doctor. Welcome back to the channel. So, have you noticed how this crazy weather, one day it's blazing sun, the next it's chilly and damp, seems to be making everyone's stomach act up? I've definitely seen a lot more folks in my clinic lately dealing with bloating, heartburn, or just feeling off in the gut. Maybe you felt that too. You haven't even eaten much, but you're already stuffed, or you've got that gnawing nausea and zero appetite. It's like your stomach just isn't cooperating no matter what you do. And honestly, it's not just the weather, it's the stress, the irregular schedules, the grabango meals, all of it adds up today. We're going to talk about gut health, but more importantly, I want to clear up a huge misconception because a lot of people think they're nourishing their stomach, but actually they're making it weaker over time. And I see this every single week in my practice. It's one of the most common mistakes I encounter. And it's so easy to fall into because it sounds so logical. Let me be straight with you. After more than a decade in practice, I've seen way too many people, young people, teenagers, even kids who have stomach issues. And here's the thing, we live in a time when we have access to all kinds of food, yet more and more patients walk through my door with indigestion, acid reflux, or just feeling lousy after a meal. It's not just older folks anymore. I'm seeing people in their teens and 20s with chronic gut problems that used to take decades to develop. That's a trend that really worries me, and it's why I wanted to make this video. We're eating better than ever in some ways, but our digestion is suffering more than ever. So a question I get all the time, Doc, isn't plain white congee the best thing for my stomach? Or should I drink more milk to coat and heal my gut? These are such common questions, and they come from a place of genuinely wanting to do the right thing. People aren't trying to make themselves sick, they're trying to get better, and they're following what they've been told. I get why people think that it's everywhere, especially from well-meaning family members. Oh, your stomach hurts, have some plain rice porridge, or milk is the perfect comfort food for your tummy. It sounds so logical, right? Warm, smooth, easy to digest. It's what our grandparents told our parents and what our parents told us. It's become almost like common knowledge passed down through generations. You ask anyone on the street and they'll probably tell you the same thing. It's one of those pieces of advice that just seems to make intuitive sense, but here's the catch. Have you ever noticed that someone who eats plain white congee every single morning can still have cold hands and feet, pale skin, and zero energy, or they end up with a diagnosis of gastritis or GERD, and even medication doesn't fix it completely? Why is that? Why does this go-to solution seem to backfire? I've had patients tell me do everything right, porridge every morning, milk at night, and I still feel terrible. And that's when I know we need to have a different conversation because something isn't adding up if the right thing isn't working. Maybe it's not actually the right thing, because here's the truth that often gets overlooked. Your stomach doesn't just need gentle food, it needs real fuel. Plain white congee and milk, they might feel soothing going down, but they're actually pretty empty. They don't have enough nutrients to actually strengthen your digestive system. Think of it like this. You're painting the walls of a house, but you've forgotten to pour a solid foundation. Eventually, that house is going to crumble. Same with your gut. You can't just give it soft, low nutrition foods and expect it to get stronger. It actually gets lazier and weaker. It's like if you only ever did light stretching but never built any muscle. Sure, you feel loose, but you're not getting stronger. And over time, you actually lose the strength you had. Your stomach is a muscle, and like any muscle, it needs proper fuel to function well. I've had patients who started with just mild appetite loss. They went on a diet of plain congee and milk for 3, 6 months. What happened? They became more fatigued, more prone to colds, and their digestion got even worse. It's heartbreaking to see, especially with kids. Parents come in saying, we followed the advice, we gave him porridge and milk, but the child is pale, sluggish, and just not thriving. Their energy is low, they're not gaining weight properly, and they catch every bug that goes around the classroom. I've had mothers in tears because they felt like they were failing their children, and I had to reassure them it wasn't their fault, they were just following bad advice. Once we switched things up, the kids started doing so much better. Now, for my busy working folks, I know you're rushing out the door. A quick bowl of congee or a glass of milk seems like the fastest, healthiest option. You've got the morning commute, the kids to get to school, the emails already piling up. I get it, but with all the stress, late nights, and erratic schedules, your stomach is already sensitive. If you nourish it the wrong way, you're just making it worse. I once had a patient tell me, Doc, I eat congee daily, but I've lost weight. I look pale and I'm always dizzy. I told him that's like having a car with an empty gas tank and just washing the windows. You're not fixing the core problem. You need fuel. You wouldn't expect your car to run on empty, so why expect your body to run on empty calories? It just doesn't make sense when you think about it that way. Your body needs building blocks, not just filler. I had a patient in his 30s, an office worker who dealt with chronic bloating. He ate plain congee every morning and was always freezing cold. Even wearing a jacket in summer, his coworkers would tease him about it, but he was genuinely uncomfortable and tired of being cold all the time. After switching to a breakfast of Japonica rice and sweet potato porridge in just 6 months, he turned it around. Warm hands, better appetite, more energy. He looked like a different person. His productivity at work improved. He stopped needing that afternoon coffee just to stay awake, and he told me he actually looked forward to breakfast for the first time in years. His wife even commented on how much more pleasant he was to be around in the mornings. So it's not just about age, it's about what we put in our bodies from a young age, and it's never too late to make a change. Even small adjustments can lead to big results. I always say when stomach energy fails, all kinds of problems follow. If you don't have a strong digestive foundation, your body can't generate the energy it needs, and you age faster, get sick more often. It's not an exaggeration. Your entire body depends on your gut to process and deliver nutrients. If that system is compromised, everything else suffers. Your immune system, your skin, your mood, your sleep, all of it is connected to how well your gut is working. I've seen patients with chronic fatigue who improve dramatically just by fixing their digestion. So today I want to shift our thinking. Nourishing your stomach isn't about a temporary soothing effect. It's about building a solid base, a truly resilient gut. And that takes consistent effort, not just reaching for the easiest option when you feel bad. It's about being proactive, not reactive. Now, let's talk about why your stomach is such a big deal in traditional medicine. We call the stomach and spleen the foundation of your life. And honestly, over my years of practice, no matter what illness a patient has, if their digestion is weak, any other treatment is just a waste of time and money. You can take all the expensive supplements in the world, but if your stomach can't absorb them, they're just passing right through. I've seen patients spend hundreds of dollars a month on vitamins and herbal tinctures, only to have their lab work show they're still deficient in key nutrients. Why? Because their gut couldn't absorb them in the first place. It's like pouring water into a leaky bucket. You're just wasting your money. Fix the bucket first, then add the water. Think of it this way, your stomach is the mill, and your spleen is the factory that processes the goods. You can eat the most luxurious foods, lobster, truffles, you name it, but without a strong factory, your body won't know what to do with them. On the other hand, when your digestion is strong, even simple food like rice and sweet potatoes gives you abundant energy and vitality. I've seen patients who went from eating expensive superfoods and feeling terrible to eating simple whole foods and feeling amazing. It's not about the price tag, it's about what your body can actually use. And that's such an important point, especially with all the marketing out there trying to sell you expensive solutions. You don't need to spend a fortune to be healthy. You see, in traditional medicine, the stomach and spleen don't just digest food, they're responsible for transporting nutrients to every part of your body and clearing out waste. If this system is weak, your whole body feels weak. If it's strong, you have a healthy glow, steady energy, and you just feel alive. This wisdom goes back centuries. It's not just me saying it. It's the foundation of so many classic medical texts. Ancient physicians figured this out long before we had microscopes and lab tests, and modern science is only now catching up to confirm what they knew all along. It's pretty remarkable, actually, how much ancient wisdom aligns with what we're learning about the gut microbiome today. The more we study, the more we realize they were on to something. So have you ever wondered why some people catch every cold that goes around, or they're always tired and sweaty for no reason? Look at their diet first. Stress, irregular meals, cold drinks, sugary snacks, all of these are hard on your digestion. I had a patient who was drinking iced coffee all day long and wondering why her stomach was always in knots. We cut back on the cold drinks, switched to warm meals, and within weeks her symptoms improved dramatically. She told me she hadn't realized how much the cold drinks were affecting her until she stopped. It was such a simple change, but it made a world of difference. I'm often asked if aging automatically means more health problems. It's not just the number of years, it's that our digestive fire tends to wane as we get older. That's why we have to be even more intentional about nourishing it. I've seen patients in their 70s with better digestion than people in their 20s. Because they made the right choices early on and stuck with them. It's not inevitable that you get sick as you age. It's largely about how well you've taken care of yourself. Some of my healthiest patients are my oldest ones. If you have a strong system, you have rosy cheeks, solid muscles, steady energy, and good sleep. When it's weak, you get cold extremities, sallow skin, brain fog, and mood swings. And again, when your appetite fails, everything else starts to fail. Chronic fatigue, allergies, even more serious conditions can trace back to a sluggish gut. I've had patients whose chronic skin issues cleared up once we fixed their digestion. That's how connected everything is. Your skin is often a reflection of what's going on inside. I've also seen patients with joint pain improve when we address their gut health. So let's circle back. Why do plain white porridge and milk actually backfire? I think it comes down to a misunderstanding of gentle. We think gentle means good, but here's the thing about plain white congee. It's mostly water and simple starch. It gives you a quick, empty feeling of fullness, but no staying power. And because it's overcooked, it's stripped of a lot of its original nutrients. Over time, your body just doesn't get what it needs to build strength. It's like eating white bread every day. You'll survive, but you won't thrive. You'll feel full in the moment, but an hour later, you're hungry again and your body hasn't gotten anything substantial. It's a temporary fix, not a long-term solution. And milk, in many traditional medicine perspectives, it's considered cold and damp for those of us who aren't adapted to it, and many in our community are actually lactose intolerant. It can cause more bloating and phlegm if you're someone with a naturally cold constitution. Drinking milk every day is like putting water on a fire that's already struggling to burn. I've had patients tell me they thought it was normal to feel bloated after a glass of milk. They'd been living with that discomfort for years without realizing it wasn't how they were supposed to feel. They just assumed that's what digestion felt like. Once they cut out the milk, they were amazed at how much better they felt. Plus, modern science shows white congee has a high glycemic index. It spikes your blood sugar, then crashes it, and milk protein can be a burden for many adults. So these safe options are actually causing issues. For people with diabetes or prediabetes, that blood sugar roller coaster is especially concerning. And for people with lactose sensitivity, the bloating and gas from milk can be downright miserable. I've had patients tell me they were avoiding dairy completely and felt so much better. And then they started drinking milk again for gut health and all their symptoms came back. It's a classic case of good intentions gone wrong. And here's the thing, a lot of people are just following the crowd. Their parents did it, their neighbors do it, so they think it must be right. But when it comes to your health, copying everyone else isn't a strategy. Your body is unique, and what works for one person might not work for you. I tell my patients all the time, just because something is popular doesn't mean it's right for you. You have to pay attention to your own body's signals. If something makes you feel worse, stop doing it regardless of what everyone else says. Trust your own experience. I remember a patient who came to me after years of feeling tired and bloated. He'd been on the congee and milk plan for years. I suggested he switch to a breakfast of Japonica rice and red sweet potato porridge. Within 3 months, he had more energy, his skin looked better, and he just felt more resilient. It wasn't magic, it was just the right fuel. His coworkers noticed the change before he did. They said he seemed brighter, more engaged, less likely to snap at people. He told me he felt like a new person. His wife said he was like the man she married again. I'm not saying white congee or milk are evil. If you've got a bad case of the stomach flu and you need something bland for a day, sure, it's a good short-term strategy, but as a long-term strategy, it's a recipe for a weak system. You wouldn't go to the gym and do the same easy workout every day for years and expect to get stronger. Your gut needs the same principle. It needs to be challenged with real nutrition. It needs building blocks, not just placeholders. So what's the real golden repair for your stomach? For me, it's Japonica rice and red sweet potato porridge. You might be thinking rice is rice, right? Not quite. Japonica rice is an ancient staple. It's a medium grain rice, not too sticky like sushi rice, not too loose like jasmine rice. It has a gentle balancing quality. In many classical medical texts, they actually use this specific rice in formulas. It's not just filler, it's a medicinal food that strengthens the stomach and clears heat. And here's a secret: aged rice is even better. The older, the more gentle and effective. If you happen to have some older rice sitting in your pantry, don't throw it out. That's actually a hidden gem. I've had patients tell me they found a bag of rice in the back of their cupboard and were about to toss it. And I said, no, that's actually better than the fresh stuff for this purpose. The longer it sits, the more its energetic properties mellow out and become more nourishing. It's one of those little things that most people don't know. Then you add red sweet potato. This is the game changer. It's warm, sweet, and has a beautiful red color, which in traditional medicine is linked to nourishing your heart and blood. It's packed with fiber, vitamins. and antioxidants. It not only helps your stomach, but also promotes bowel regularity. And when you combine it with the Japonica rice, you get a meal that's perfectly balanced, soothing, nutritious, and energizing. The fiber from the sweet potato feeds the good bacteria in your gut, which has all kinds of downstream benefits for your immune system and even your mood. It's really a powerhouse combination, and it tastes great too. There's a natural sweetness that makes it really enjoyable. Now, timing is everything. The best time to eat this is in the morning. Between 7 and 9 a.m. in traditional medicine, this is when your stomach energy is at its peak. So when you eat this porridge at that time, your body absorbs the nutrients most efficiently. It's like charging your battery for the whole day. I have a patient in her 80s who started this routine in her 50s, and she has more energy than people half her age. That's not luck, that's consistent, smart nutrition. She's got black hair, rosy cheeks, and walks faster than most young people I know. Her doctors are always amazed at her checkups. They ask her what her secret is, and she just smiles and says, breakfast. And she's not joking. She truly believes it's made all the difference. She told me she used to be sick all the time, and now she rarely even catches a cold scientifically. This combo gives you complex carbs for slow-release energy, plus fiber for your gut microbiome. It's filling without being heavy, which is perfect for modern life. You don't get that mid-morning crash that leaves you reaching for a donut or another cup of coffee. You get steady, sustained energy that lasts. It's exactly what your body needs to get through a busy morning. And it's so much better than processed breakfast cereals or pastries. So how do you make it? It's simple. The night before, wash the rice and chop a sweet potato in the morning. Just put it all in a pot with water and simmer for about 30 to 40 minutes until it's soft and creamy. I like it a little thick so you can actually chew it. It helps with digestion. You can even throw in some leftover rice or add a bit of pumpkin or yam depending on the season. Some mornings I'll add a little bit of Chinese yam or pumpkin. Both are great for the gut too. You can rotate them so you don't get bored. For sides, keep it simple, a little shredded meat, a boiled egg, some greens. Just don't go heavy on the fried stuff, spicy sauces, or iced drinks because that kind of defeats the purpose. You want to let the porridge do its gentle work without giving your stomach extra battles to fight. If you're going to take the time to make this, you might as well protect its benefits by keeping the rest of the meal simple. I know some of you might think that sounds so bland, but try it for a month, your palate will adjust, and pretty soon you'll crave that warm, comforting bowl. You'll notice you're not as hungry by mid-morning, you have steady energy, and you just feel more grounded. Your body will start to recognize that this is the food that makes it feel good, and you'll naturally start wanting it. I've had so many patients tell me they were skeptical at first, but after a few weeks they couldn't imagine starting their day any other way. It becomes a ritual, something you look forward to. I had a middle-aged male patient who used to have fried dough and soy milk for breakfast every day. He'd be hungry again within 2 hours, feel sluggish, dry-mouthed, and out of energy before lunch even hit. He was constantly reaching for snacks and energy drinks just to get through the day. I switched him to this porridge the first week. He thought it was too plain, but after a month his bloating disappeared. He wasn't crashing at noon, and his wife even told him he looked younger. He told me he saved money too because he wasn't buying all those expensive mid-morning snacks anymore. His productivity at work went up, and he stopped needing that second cup of coffee. He said he felt like he had his life back. And then there was a young woman in her 20s who always had cold hands and feet, irregular periods, and awful cramps. She used to just grab a glass of milk or a piece of toast in the morning, whatever was fastest after I had her switch to this porridge, and really take her time eating it, not rush. Within 2 months, her complexion improved, her cycle regulated, and her period pain was significantly better. She told me, I finally get it. It's not about supplements. It's about the little habits every day. She said she actually looked forward to her morning routine now, which used to be a stressful scramble. She also noticed she wasn't as irritable in the afternoons, which she hadn't expected at all. Her energy levels were more stable throughout the day. And this isn't just for adults. Kids love it too. Their little stomachs are so delicate, and many parents worry they're not getting enough, so they load them up with milk and bread, and then wonder why they have diarrhea or just aren't gaining weight. A warm bowl of this porridge is often better tolerated and more nourishing. I've had parents tell me their kids actually ask for it now, which is a win in any parent's book. And for seniors who may have trouble chewing or digesting heavier foods, this is perfect, soft, warm, and gentle on the system. They don't have to struggle with tough meats or raw vegetables that can be hard to break down. It's really a meal for every generation. I've recommended it to patients from age 2 to 92. Of course, everyone's different. If you tend to have loose stools or a very sensitive stomach, you can cook it a little longer and use less sweet potato at first. Let your body get used to it. If you tend to run hot and dry, you can add a little mung bean or millet to make it more cooling. But always keep Japonica rice as the main ingredient. The key is listening to your body. Don't force a rigid recipe, adapt it to how you feel. I always tell my patients, you're the expert on your own body. I'm here to give you the tools, but you have to use them in a way that works for you. There's no one-size-fits-all approach. Some people need more sweet potato, some need less. Pay attention. Now, I know some nutrition guidelines say breakfast should be high protein, high energy, eat like a king, and I agree that you need good fuel, but you don't need a huge steak or a greasy breakfast sandwich to get that. If your digestion is strong, a simple bowl of this porridge gives you all the steady energy you need without weighing you down. In fact, those heavy, greasy breakfasts can actually tire your gut out over the long run. They take a lot of energy to digest, and that's energy your body could be using for other things like thinking clearly, staying focused, or fighting off a cold. So the eat like a king idea doesn't mean you need a massive meal. It means you need a quality meal. Quality over quantity always. I always tell my patients health isn't about how much you eat. It's about eating the right things for your body. When your digestion is solid, you get sick less often, your skin glows, your mood lifts, and your sleep improves. Your body will thank you in so many ways. I've had patients tell me their seasonal allergies got better, their joint pain improved, even their mood stabilized, all because we finally got their gut working the way it was supposed to. It's truly amazing what happens when you support your body's natural functions. The body wants to heal itself, you just have to give it the right tools. But here's the thing, good food alone isn't enough. You can eat the perfect porridge every morning, but if your lifestyle is working against you, you're still going to struggle. Let's talk about the bigger picture. First, meal timing. I can't stress this enough. Eat breakfast at a regular time. Don't rush lunch. And dinner, try to have it early. Ideally before 7 p.m., eating late at night, especially heavy meals, forces your digestive system to work overtime when it should be resting. That's a recipe for acid reflux and poor sleep. Your body has a natural rhythm, and when you eat late, you're asking your stomach to do heavy lifting at a time when it's supposed to be winding down. I've had patients who cured their nighttime heartburn just by moving dinner earlier by 2 hours. It's that simple sometimes. Your body has a clock, and you need to work with it, not against it. Second, chew your food. I know you've heard it 1,000 times, but seriously, when you're rushing through a meal in 5 minutes, your stomach has to work way harder to break everything down. When you chew each bite until it's almost liquid, your stomach gets a heads up. Okay, here comes some well-prepared food. I can handle this. Your saliva starts the digestive process for you. So slow down, put your fork down between bites. It makes a huge difference. I've seen patients who were chronically bloated improve just from chewing more thoroughly. No changes to what they ate, just how they ate it. That's a free fix right there. It costs nothing but a little time. Third, manage your stress. I see it all the time. Patients under a lot of pressure at work or at home, and suddenly their stomach goes haywire, stomach pain, bloating, nausea. That's because your gut and your brain are closely connected. When you're stressed, your stomach tightens up and digestion slows down. So find ways to unwind, a short walk, some deep breathing, a few minutes of stretching. It's not just for your mental health, it's for your gut too. I've had patients whose symptoms flared up every Monday morning, and we traced it right back to work-related stress. Learning to manage that stress was as important as any dietary change. You can't out-eat stress. You have to address it directly. Fourth, get some gentle movement. I'm not saying run a marathon, but a light walk after a meal helps your digestion tremendously. Don't lie down right after eating. That can push acid up into your esophagus, and don't do intense exercise right away either. Just a slow, easy stroll for 10 or 15 minutes does wonders. It helps move food through your system and reduces that heavy bloated feeling. I tell my patients if you can walk to the mailbox and back after dinner, that's a great start. It doesn't have to be complicated, just get moving a little bit. And finally, pay attention to the seasons. In spring, when everything's waking up, keep your porridge light with some fresh greens. In summer, when it's hot and humid, add a little mung bean or barley to help clear heat and dampness. In fall, when the air gets dry, throw in some pumpkin or yam to moisturize. And in winter, when it's cold, make your porridge thicker and heartier. Maybe add a little more sweet potato or even a small amount of lean meat to give your body extra warmth and energy. These aren't complicated changes, but they align your eating with what your body actually needs at that time of year. It's the difference between wearing a light jacket in spring and a heavy coat in winter. You dress for the weather, and you should eat for it too. Your body is responding to the environment around it, so why wouldn't you adjust your food accordingly? It's common sense when you think about it. I practice what I preach, no matter how busy my day is. Even if I only have 10 minutes in the morning, I make sure I get a bowl of this porridge at home, at the clinic. Even when I'm traveling, I prioritize it. And over the years, I've noticed a real difference. I don't get worn out easily. I don't catch every bug that goes around. And I just feel more balanced overall. My patients often ask me what I do for my own health, and this is one of the things I always tell them. I'm not perfect, but this is a non-negotiable for me. It's the foundation of my day. So does exercise help your stomach? Absolutely. It gets your blood flowing and helps your digestive system work better, but don't exercise right after a big meal. That diverts blood away from your stomach and can cause cramping. Give it at least an hour or two, or just do a gentle walk right after eating. I tell my patients if you want to go for a run, do it before breakfast, not after. Your body will thank you. There's a time for everything. So here's the bottom line. Nourishing your stomach isn't just about one food or one meal. It's about what you eat, how you eat it, when you eat it, and how you live the rest of your life. Regular meals, a calm mind movement, seasonal adjustments. These are the real secrets, not expensive supplements, not trendy diets, not magic. I've had patients spend thousands on supplements that didn't work. And when I asked them about the basics, meal timing, chewing, stress, they said they'd never thought about it. Those basics are where the real healing happens. And the best part, they cost almost nothing. You don't need a big budget to be healthy when you commit to these habits. Day in and day out, your digestive system gets stronger, your energy stays steady, those little nagging issues, bloating, heartburn, fatigue start to fade, and eventually you build what I call a golden stomach. That's your body's strongest foundation. It'll carry you through all kinds of challenges. And it'll keep you feeling young and vibrant for years to come. It's the kind of health that you can't buy in a bottle. It has to be built meal by meal, day by day. You know, I've had patients tell me they thought feeling tired and bloated was just part of getting older, but it's not. It's a sign that your digestion needs some attention. And once you give it that attention, the changes can be remarkable. It's never too late to start, whether you're 22 or 72. I've seen people in their 80s transform their health with these simple changes. So I want to leave you with this. Have you ever felt like your stomach just isn't working with you, or have you been following a gut-friendly routine that doesn't seem to be helping? Drop a comment below and let me know. I read them and I want to hear your stories. Maybe you've tried the congee and milk route and it didn't work. Maybe you've already made the switch to something else. I'd love to hear what's worked for you because we all learn from each other. Your experience might help someone else who's struggling. And as always, a gentle reminder, this is for educational purposes only. Always consult your own doctor before making changes to your diet or routine, especially if you have existing health conditions or take medications. What works for one person may not work for another, and your doctor knows your specific health history better than anyone. If you're dealing with any health concerns, please schedule a visit with your primary care doctor. I'm here to help you understand the science. Not replace professional medical advice. My goal is to empower you with information, but you have to take that information and work with your own healthcare team to make the best decisions for your unique body. Take care of that gut, and I'll see you in the next video.